everybody, it's Ozone. Guess what? 2024 is almost done, and well, we did a lot of things this year, so I thought it would be a pretty neat video experience to try to do a year in review. It's been a big year for me and the channel, so come along and let's revisit some of the places that we've been. We started off the year right here in my beautiful little castle on the Leftovers SMP. But before we could do justice to this, I think we have to welcome back somebody else. So hang on a second, I'll be right back. Ah, there we go. It's Princess Ozone. We can't talk about the castle on the cloud without bringing back Princess Ozone. This was one of my more favorite bits of the game, really. It was my first foray into some role-playing and some lore, and it is what it is. I don't think I did a very good job of it, but I really enjoyed the fun and humor in the Princess Ozone character. Well, anyway, I had my castle on a cloud here off the spawn area, and honestly, I really liked it. As I look at it again now, yeah, it's pretty plain. It always has been. I'm not a real good builder, but I really liked the bridge and the beanstalk idea. I really wanted to take that down so much more. It was cozy and comfortable, but it had everything within arm's reach right here on the main level. And then, of course, the basement, the dark secret of the princess here in the basement with a mob spawner. I liked the lore of all of this as well. And like I said, it really kind of was cozy, and I just enjoyed that coziness. I found that I really liked playing Sky Vaults. I really enjoyed the challenge of collecting resources only from the vaults. And then I also really liked our big shared spawn area and how everybody kind of had to branch off and do their own things, create their own islands and their own builds, and really make it very personalized. It was a lot of fun, and it was a big, interesting story that we had going on. Now, we didn't tell everybody, but the plan always was to go to the mainland, to find a way to get off of the spawn island. I only wish that they had made the initial area a lot bigger, honestly, because toward the end, we had a really hard time keeping it out of the videos. But then there was this big shared event where we had to run different vaults of different types in order to appease the vault gods. Such a clever idea. Big props to Fuzzy and Stircat for making that happen. They did a really great job, and it was a lot of fun. But like all things, it had to come to an end, and unfortunately, rather abruptly. As I look back on the events that transpired up to me leaving the server, I don't think I handled it so well. I have some regrets. It's a sad thing as I look back onto it, but I had to do what I thought was best at the time, and, well, we can't go on living our life in the past now, can we? Unfortunately, the rest of the server seemed to just stop at the same time, so maybe that was just the right time. I don't know. It was a good time while it lasted, and I really had a lot of fun here. From there, I started a new game called Vintage Story. Now, this is very much a voxel-based game, like Minecraft, but oh, so much different. And I had a lot of fun with this for entirely different reasons. You see, I've been doing Minecraft and particularly Vault Hunters for quite some time, and I'm really rather familiar with the mechanics. This, however, was a completely new experience. Even how to start the game, cutting down trees, what to do. Oh, this was so much fun. Just learning everything from the ground up. It really brought me back to the first times that I had started to play Minecraft. Now, this world provides so much more than Minecraft does in terms of lore and history. And so my goal throughout this playthrough was to try to learn as much of that history as I could. It was not easy to find it all. Well, I don't think that I did find it all, but in the end, I made it to the main end dungeon called the Resident Archive, and I've managed to learn quite a bit. Now, I didn't start out this series trying to survive it without losing any lives, but that's what I ended up doing, and that is an accomplishment that I am extremely proud of because this is an extremely hard game. You are super squishy in this game, especially when you start out. And so having managed to survive the entire game without perishing even once, well, That is an accomplishment that deserves a reminder to everybody. Like I said, I am really, really proud of it. And even though my little farmstead is pretty simplistic, pretty utilitarian, I am also pretty proud of what I've been able to create here. It feels very homey, and again, it's just really nice and comfortable, with everything that I'm after right here in close proximity to one another. I also had a really fun time with the windmill mechanics that the game provides. It took quite a bit of playing around with and quite a bit of resources to get to this far, but now that I'm here, it's a really nice, functional setup. And my basement storage/utility area down here was quite a nice expansion that was really quite functional as well. Everything is so neatly organized, and honestly, I've got quite a bit of resources at this point in the game. But toward the end, I absolutely felt like I was getting well versed at the game. Obviously, I hadn't died, and I really felt like I was losing steam in it. Now, there is a new version that's coming out very, very shortly, so we might come back to this game once again after all. But for me and my time here, I absolutely enjoyed Vintage Story, and if you haven't given it a try, I absolutely recommend it. It provides a lot of the joy and wonder of getting started in Minecraft all over again. Takes you back to some of those early days when you just have no clue what's going on. Now, in the middle of this series, the channel also reached a very important milestone. Why, hit 1,000 subscribers. Like every creator, reaching 1,000 subscribers is a huge milestone, and I was super, super excited to hit it. And I couldn't have done it without everybody here. So thank you once again. I think I've said thank you a few times, but thank you once again for choosing to subscribe to this channel and join me on this wild ride that we call YouTube. Throughout the year, there were multiple Vault Hunter updates released as well, and it is in this update test house that I do those. Updates 13, 14, 15, and 16, which honestly is pretty consistent throughout the year, having the 4 different updates. I think at one time they said they wanted to have monthly updates, but hey, quarterly updates is pretty darn good. Now, the update roundups are near and dear to my heart. They are a place where I can study the new features in order to prepare for them, and even though I'm not so good at min-maxing and coming up with new builds and things like that, I really enjoy them, and I think it's the thing that my channel is most well known for. I try really hard to get these things done as fast as possible for all those people out there that just find the new updates to be confusing and overwhelming. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job with these over the years. Now, the old update roundup house isn't that complicated of a build, and it's not that big either. But it's a place where I spend a lot of time when they happen. Sadly, though, that seems like that might not be a thing anymore. And lastly, I made my own server that I was initially calling OzoneB's server, but it's really just now Vault Hunters Friends SMP. We started right here in this little village town, and it was a really good start. Lots of people in very close proximity. Unfortunately, my timing was really bad as I started this. We started the server, and then I went away for like 3 or 4 weeks for a vacation and just some other stuff that I couldn't be really involved with the server as it started up. A lot of people enjoyed it and got really far along, and then it kind of petered out. My initial goal was to make this be kind of a community server. You know, not a truly public server, but for people that watch my videos. And I really feel like I accomplished that part, at least. It was really fun getting to know the other people on the server, the people that I've maybe only seen comments from, and I really appreciate that. I really liked that. I did another call for players, and a few other players joined in, but again, we really haven't had a whole lot of interaction here on this server, and I've been kind of disappointed by the way that it's gone. And it's really my fault, I suppose, because being a server owner is hard. It's hard to come up with things to do and ways to keep the community engaged, and Vault Hunters' progress was really slow in terms of releases, and I think that also made a big difference. I ended up growing into this mountain base cave, which I do really enjoy. I really wanted to have a lot more space done besides just these 2 rooms, but I just can't find any use for the space, so it's really hard to justify spending a lot of time building out and decorating space. You know what I mean? One of my main goals for this playthrough was to try out different mods that I've never used before, and so we started out with applied energistics. Gotta say, I prefer refined storage. I think it's just easier all around, and I haven't been able to figure out any of the things that make applied energistics better. I believe there are some. I know there are people that are much more familiar with it than I, but I just never got there. And then I moved on to thermal series, thermal energistics, and thermal dynamos for power generation. Again, I was a little underwhelmed by these combinations of mods. There are definitely some nice things about thermal, like the blast chiller right here and these igneous extruders, but a lot of the other machines do the exact same thing as other mods, and it's really just a matter of preference. Nevertheless, I am really glad that I've gotten a chance to play with these things, and I'll admit I probably haven't taken it as far as I could have gone, right? I haven't played with it enough to consider myself an expert. Just a dabbler, really. But like I said, that was the point of the playthrough, trying these different mods, and I feel like in that regard, I have succeeded, and I'm glad that I did. But unfortunately, like I said, players have gotten pretty busy. It's the holiday time, and there's the whole Vault Hunters Iskall issue that is still unresolved. And so a lot of people have taken a step back, and I feel like that's the right course of action for me too. I'll still hop in here and run a vault from time to time just because I want to, but I'm not really doing much right now in terms of content here anymore. Maybe someday, hopefully soon, we'll get an answer to the whole what's the future of Vault Hunters question. But for right now, that's still unresolved, and a lot of people are just keeping their distance from it. Now, in addition to all of those things that I just mentioned, I also am going to plug my second channel with my wife. We play a variety of games, and I've really enjoyed that process too. And over the past year, we played Legends of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, Unravel 2, It Takes Two, Stray, Outer Wilds, and finally Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. So head on over to Gaming with Competent and Clueless if you want to catch any of those kinds of games. The style of content is a little different. I call them mini streams, about 30 minutes of largely unedited banter between the two of us. But I think it's a lot of fun, and I hope you find it to be fun too. And so that was the year in review. A pretty quick review, but I had fun revisiting and reminiscing as we visited those places that I've made content in all this year. I hope you enjoyed the stroll down memory lane as well. Now, I've already got a video out where I talk about what's next for me, and the answer is still, I don't know, because I think the future of Vault Hunters is very much uncertain. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would say there's a decent chance that Vault Hunters doesn't come back from this. And that's pretty sad, because I've made Vault Hunters the core of my channel for a long time, and I'm gonna have to find something else to do. To be quite honest, I've been feeling like I want to get back to doing some vanilla or Vanilla Plus type servers, because I've been playing Vault Hunters for so long, it's still stuck at 118. I really haven't gotten to experience any of the new content in Minecraft since then. The trial chambers, the Pale Gardens, no, none of that stuff. But I also enjoy modded Minecraft quite a bit, so I think I might be looking at some other mod packs to try as well. And as always, I'm all ears if you have any suggestions. What I really want to know, though, is what was the series that you liked most this year? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what series you thought was best. They're all near and dear to my heart, so it's kind of hard for me to pick a favorite, honestly, but I'm always interested to hear what you guys have to say. But with that, I think it's time to wrap up this video. I hope everybody had a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, celebrating whatever it is that you celebrate, and we'll see you around in the next year. Until then, remember, be excellent to each other. I'm out.